All right, so let me get you caught up with what happened in New York this weekend, because I went up there with the intent of telling my mom that, hey, I want to let you know I forgive you for the past. I'm moving on, right? I have held this resentment because my mom was not very good at momming for my entire life. My dad, well, he wasn't good at dadding either. But I told you guys on Friday or on Thursday that I just, you know what, it's just different. It's been the way that my dad passed away and how I took care of him when he had dementia and a whole bunch of other things has been so different than the way that I've handled it with my mom. Because I knew with my dad, I knew what his family history was. I knew what he was all about. And I confessed to you guys on Thursday, I just kind of feel like there's a little gender discrimination going on here also. Like, you know, he was a dude born in the 50s or what have you. And I was almost like making, you know, like excuses for him. Like, you know, it's a guy. Priority wasn't family or whatever. But moms, come on. It's maternal instinct should be different, right? So my mom has dementia and she's living up in New York City. And I have been holding on to so much resentment that over these years, and I joke about it a lot. And I also told you guys last week that I don't really feel stress. I compartmentalize, I put my head down, I get through it, and then I don't feel it. Like, it doesn't really bum me out. I don't give myself a lot of time to be bummed about things. So I just move on. Well, that's easy to say, but you know, the old saying that your body keeps score. My body's starting to break down. All these gadgets that I have are telling me I can't sleep right. And there's just some stuff going on that every therapist I go to, be it a sleep doctor or a therapist, psychologist, I don't know, whatever, they're all saying, man, you haven't even dealt with all the stuff that you had in your past, even though I thought I had, right? They're like, you haven't really been authentic about it. You're holding on to so much, which I really do tend to do. Even outside of this relationship with my parents, if somebody wrongs me, I hold on to it. I hold on to it. And at any point in the day, when I get a spark of a memory about it, I get fired up about it. I just can't let things go, right? So in order for me to be healthy, I really felt that I had to, I don't want to say confront my mom. I needed to go to New York and really believe, and I think I have an understanding now that she really did the best that she could. She grew up in a messed up family also, but, you know, maybe the fact that she did give me and my two brothers up to their fathers also was the best she could do. Maybe she realized back in the day, like, I suck at this. So, and I don't want to jack these kids up. So maybe I'll just give them to that. Maybe that was her thinking, you know? So she did. She gave us all up. And when I went out to California, my mom stopped talking to me for 10 years. And then after that, it was kind of a relationship out of convenience. And that leaves a lot of scars.
And you were young.
Super young.
And there's no way for a kid to fully comprehend. I think you said you were like 7 or something. 7
to 17 or 18. Just no contact at all, right? I did find out years later that at least she said that she sent cards and I never saw those cards, and I would not put it past my dad to just build this narrative with me where he didn't want me connected to my mom at all. Different conversation for a different time, but that is definitely my dad's MO right there. So anyway, I went up there just to say, hey, I want to let you know that I really believe that you did the best you could. That was my intent. So I get to her memory care facility and I get up to the floor, and man, I don't know anybody that likes going through this experience at all, because everybody that's in there is clearly not healthy. As I walked in, I could see my mom's head. She was in the sofa that was facing the television, and there were like 4 other senior citizens that were facing me, and they were in bad shape, really bad shape. And I was starting to brace myself, and this is all happening so quickly. I was starting to brace myself for the worst when I was going to see my mom. So I took a big old breath and I walked right into the room, and I stood in front of her and I said, hi. Man, I got to tell you guys, she immediately lit up. Big old smile on her face. She knew exactly who I was. She was shocked, but surprised in the best way. Like, Bert, I didn't know you were coming. Well, you don't know anything, Ma. But I didn't know you were coming. This is great. And it's the first time I've ever really seen her, I think, light up this much. So we hugged, and then we sat down for a couple of minutes, and I started scrolling through some pictures that I had of me and my family and my life, just to bring her sort of up to speed. Plus, I don't know if everybody else has this experience, and I'm not very good at it, but I don't know what to do when I'm up there. I mean, you can't really have conversations. She doesn't really want to do anything except sit in front of that TV, and she's just gotten really, really quiet. So I don't know how long these visits are supposed to last, but and it's a one-sided conversation also. It is it's a narration more than anything else. So about midway through, I said to her, and you know what, Mom, I just really want to say something here and I didn't know the words that were going to really come out of my mouth at this point. And I thanked her. I said, I really want to thank you for doing the best you could. So she was a little bit taken back by it, and she looked at me and she said, I really did. But then she asked a really strange question that gave me some insight. Because even though she's clearly not here, she's still got some demons that are deep in the soul. So she said, do your brothers think so also?
Wow, that's an interesting question.
Really interesting question, right? So I said to her, I got to be honest with you, Mom, I don't know. We don't have a lot of contact with each other. So I don't know I do know how they feel. They absolutely don't think that she did the best. And they are still reeling from the scars, the emotional scars that giving both of them up the way she did. And one of my brothers was out of the worst movie you've ever seen, what she did to him. And he's still not over it, not completely over it. So I couldn't answer honestly.
No, I think you handled that right, because that's not your story to relay.
Right.
That's for them if they want to.
Exactly. So I said that to her, and that's what she said. And I think I did follow up with her, and I said, is that important to you? And then she said, I don't really think about it a lot.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, why would that be the first question, right? So I'm going through again, and I'm going through all of the pictures, and I'm sharing my life with her. And I don't really give myself a lot of credit or really stay in the moment for the things that are going on in my life that are good. That's another way that I just kind of this is my life, and I'm kind of moving on with it. But then as I was scrolling through the pictures that I saved, and I saved her a folder of all these pictures over the last year, I'm like, dang, I've done some pretty cool things. Right? First, I showed her the pictures of her youngest grandson, and I had to keep reminding her of who he was, and her oldest grandson graduating high school and college and birthdays. And then I showed her the Radio Hall of Fame nomination. And then I showed her Bert's Big Adventure and the kids from this year also. And then I showed her the picture from the airport. And as she was sitting there taking it all in, I was kind of taking it all in also, really going dang, we've done some stuff.
It's been a good year and you're only halfway through.
It's been a good year. It's been a good career, right? And I don't know why she said this, but she said to me, she looked me right in the eyes, and out of nowhere she goes, you've always really been a very happy kid. And I didn't really know how to process that either. I didn't know what that meant. And she said, you've always had a lot of friends and you've always been a really happy kid. So I took that in. I don't really know what she meant by it. And I kept scrolling and telling her about my life. And then after about an hour, that was over, and there was nothing really, there was nothing left to talk about. So we just wanted to sit there and we wanted to watch Jeopardy. So we're sitting there watching Jeopardy, and I said to her, do you watch this every day? And she said, no, I don't live here. So she doesn't even know she lives there. And the one piece of humor out of this whole thing that really happened was...
And you have to find it, man.
I found it. It found me. So as we were all watching Jeopardy together, and I'm trying to guess some of the answers, and there's nobody else in there that knows any of the answers, but I'm starting to get competitive with myself. And I'm also starting to try to...
Are you getting competitive with the senior citizens?
No, I'm starting to flex for my mom. I know something, right? But there was one dude that was sitting 2 seats away that when Ken Jennings would go to give the answer, right before he gave the answer, this dude would say, shut up! So I never heard any of the answers, and it was bothering me so much. So at the end of the whole time, I gave her like this really big hug. She hugged me more or harder than she has on any visit before. And she said that she loved me, and she was the one that said that first. And I really thought to myself at that moment, and I've heard this cliche so much that, forgiveness is really for you, but I really feel like even though she doesn't really know what's going on right now, there's something in her soul that was satisfied by me sitting down and telling her that I'm acknowledging that you did the best that you could. And I think that's what that smile and hug and that I love you was at the very end of it.
She was satisfied. Were you satisfied with the visit?
Very.
Good.
Very. Because I really have felt like with my dad, every step of the way, I was using that guiding light of just do what's right. Forget about your feelings. Do what's right. And that's what I have done with my mom. This was the best I could give for my mom. So now I feel a lightness about it. And I felt it immediately.
Good.
That's good.
I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you.
The Bert Show.